Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is the Afterthought Show, and it is Everton 0, West Ham 1, and we got the job done in Merseyside. And I must say, I'm thoroughly proud of the boys today. Wasn't vintage, wasn't prestige, but we got the job done. Um, I start off with the way the team performed today, and I thought the team performed defensively rock solid. I thought it's a completely different team to what I see against Brentford, sorry. But in the grand scheme of things, it was a thoroughly enjoyable performance, and West Ham played very well. We huffed and puffed in the attacking front, but we wasn't vintage. I must say that. And there were certain things, certain issues where we just didn't get going. But yeah, I'll get into it in the first half. I thought the first half we come out the track flying. We looked like we looked miles ahead of Everton, like as in a team. And Everton was defensively trying to shut us down and stop us. And the first half, we should have easily been 2-0 up if we would have took our chances and had a bit of cutting edge. We pushed Everton back. We was like pressing them, and Jared Bowen was being a menace, absolute menace on that side. On the side of on the right hand side with Ben Johnson. So yeah, I've got Lawrence in the house. Lawrence, welcome to the Afterthought. Anyone got any comments? Put them in and tell me your thoughts. Tell me what you was thinking today, and I'll read them out. And yeah, I thought Ben Rama, he was having shots, he was trying, but he wasn't great today, I must admit. And I will praise the geezer up when he does well, and I'll criticise him when he doesn't. And today he wasn't vintage Ben Rama, in my opinion. Antonio is another one. I thought Antonio was like a rabbit in headlights. He's having shots. He's getting booked. Fair enough. The booking was sly, and it was not that bad. But in the grand scheme of things, he got booked, and I was just praying he didn't get sent off. Got some comments here. I'll read them out. Gaz is in the house. Brownie, I'm sorry about today, mate. I did see the result. Time for a change on the Cardiff front, and maybe a change is good. And many years ago, there was a change at a certain football club in the football championship, and they ended up getting promoted that year. So, via the playoffs. So, maybe Monday morning will come, and there will be a change at Cardiff. And maybe Chris Wilder or someone of that ilk will come in and do a good job and get Cardiff back to where they should be, and that's in the top 6, top 8 of the championship. We have got Gaz here. Yeah, we had most of the ball in that first half. Played some good stuff, but lacked the punch up front. Yeah, couldn't agree more with you there, mate. I also, it's a bit of a concern when we are asking our players, so to speak, to like our front four. If our front four don't perform, then we don't perform. And yeah, it's one of them ones really. Andy's in the house. Andy, hope you're well. If you want to come on, give us a shout. Send me a message via Twitter or WhatsApp, and I will send you the link. Need to improve our finishing on the attack. I totally agree. Lee, thanks a lot, mate. I got your comment earlier. I really do appreciate it that you're liking my content and all that. It's going a long way. It's making me feel proud of what I'm doing. Do you know what I mean? And Andy, we are massive. But yeah, first half. What can I say really about the first half? We were, as I said on a View from the Pub, we was good. We was okay. And we was fine. Like they didn't really trouble us in the first half. Second half, they come out and they had a go. Everton. They had a couple of dangerous plays, but nothing to sort of worry Fabianski, so to speak. There was a great cross from Andros Townsend. There was another good ball gone in where Iwobi put a good ball in, and yeah, there was no. I don't remember Fab really making a blockbuster save or them really giving Fab any grief whatsoever. Obviously, we huffed and puffed in the second half. We was trying, we was pushing them back. Antonio was sort of getting the ball running, making things happen. And yeah, like let me ask people this: what was your thoughts on Antonio today? Like, Was Antonio good in your eyes? Was he not so good? Was he like, to me, I thought he was a bit average again today. He works hard, but no end product. Yeah, again, Gaz, we're going to go get into games like this, but we'll see it at another day. We lost that. Yeah, I agree. I really do. Yeah, I hope you're good, James. I am very well, mate. I really am. Um, Lawrence, James is a good man. These many shows. I really do support the channel. I really do appreciate it, mate. I really do. Andy, I'm in bed early tomorrow. Good performance. A win's a win. Bring us confidence going into Thursday. I totally agree. Wasn't vintage today. It really wasn't. It wasn't like a masterclass West Ham performance, but it was a job done performance, in my opinion. Gone up there, solid in defence, and I must admit, what Andy says there is absolutely bang on. Good performance. It was a good performance. Defensively, was very good. I want to give a shout out to one man though. Right, one man who's got a lot of criticism, really not fair on him, and that is Ben Johnson. For me, Ben Johnson gets a lot of stick sometimes, which is rightfully so because he's in the wrong position sometimes, and people are saying that he should be playing as a left back. He's not a left back; he's a right back. And today, he played in his natural position, and he played very, very well. He got up and down the pitch. He defended. He's got energy. He's got pace. He's got everything about him, and that's what we want to see at West Ham United. And I must admit, he done a thoroughly good job today, Ben Johnson. I want to hear everyone's thoughts on that. What's your thoughts on Ben Johnson? Let's not forget no Crowell, no Noble bench. I know Cathal was injured. Yeah, I agree. Also, this man, Evening James, it shows how good we are when we beat a brilliant team like Everton. When we ain't at our best, it says a lot about how good we are. We was good. We was good, but we was defensively solid today. Like defensively, we was at it. We was on it. We was Kirk Zuma, mate. I'm telling you something now. What a player! What an absolute player! Like we've got there. Yeah, and if we can get right, and I'm not knocking Angelo Bonner because I thought he played very, very well today, and I gave him a 9 on my player ratings. But for me, if we can get a younger defender with him, then we have got a solid partnership. I thought Kirk Zimmer was excellent. I really do. I love the man. Good in the air, good on the ground. When the ball comes to him, he's not clumsy on the ball. Vintage for me. 25 million we pay for that man. Great bit of business for me. What have we got here? Let's get back to your comments because the more comments you get. Praise Ben Johnson on the pre-season today. He showed his skills. I totally agree, Lawrence. I really do. I thought he was excellent. Andy, James, Ben Johnson was outstanding in my opinion. A couple of poor crosses. I think Zuma helped him a lot and he added pace. Canardi coming handy, especially in the first half. I agree. I thought his pace was excellent. And you know what? For a lot of people, for how good Cathal is, and I love Cathal, I really do. I think Cathal's great. I think he does a great job. He's one of my favourite players at West Ham. He's been one of the best right backs. The one thing Cathal hasn't got is pace, and Ben Johnson has. And I've got to admit, I was thoroughly impressed with Ben Johnson. He would have been in the spotlight today, and he would have been looking at it and thinking, right, this is my moment now. And I can't fault him. I can't fault him because, let's be honest, a lot of their attacks went down the other side. They went down Cresswell's side, not really Ben's side, and that says a lot. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I thought he was excellent. I really did. Everyone's saying hello to everyone. Moyes' team, when things start to work, always starts at the back. I agree. The only issue that I have a little bit is that when it doesn't work, then our bench looks completely light. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I must admit it was thoroughly good though. Let's have a look. We've got Jay Woods. How you doing, my brother? He's been with me from the beginning, and he's always been a loyal subscriber. And much love to you, sir. Evening, James. I'm buzzing with that result. Let's hope we can really push on now. Johnson was top class. I can't agree anymore, mate. I thought he was excellent. Really did. Goodison was so quiet. There was more noise during the pandemic. I agree. And it's been. I mean, let's have a look. AJ was. Yes, played well. What we got here? I've got Andy. I was really fucked off when Dawson come on Diop knocking on the door, and the confidence has gone down. The fact he didn't come on. I agree to a point, and I have sort of questioned that myself. But I think the only reason why Diop didn't come on was because Dawson might have had the experience. That's the only thing I can think of. I thought it was too soon to bring him on. I remember that happening in like the 70th, 78th minute or 77th minute. And I was thinking, I hope you haven't just done this to us, Moyes, where we've got into a winning position now and you are just about to, you're going to try and defend this out for the next sort of 12, 14 minutes. But when he come on, I thought Dawson played all right. I've got to admit, I thought he was pretty calm. I think he done one bad pass in the time he was on, but he was pretty solid. It was pretty decent. And I've got to admit, yeah, it was a bit. It's a toss of a coin between the two of them, isn't it? Who do you have? Do you have youth or do you have experience? I think he just went with experience on that front. What we got here? Let's have a look. We have. Where are we? Ben Johnson is different grave. It's not a negative saying we want him to see him at left back. I believe he's just as good on the left as he, and that's good. I disagree with him on the left. I always have. I think he's a good player, but I think good teams figure him out, push him onto his left-hand side where he has got no left foot, and then he's helpless. You know what I mean? He can't cross with his left. He can't tackle with his left. He's a right-sided, right-footed only player. I just think it's not fair him on the left. Maybe a left wing back, maybe you can give him that one, but not a left back because he just get isolated one-on-one with someone and they just know to push him on his left-hand side. So, yeah, that's that for me. Did you like the song, James, about Bowen? I thought it was excellent, mate. I think that boy is growing in confidence. I thought he was the best player out the front four today by a country mile. I thought he worked hard. I thought he got about the pitch, his energy. It's just end product with Jerry Bowen. It really is. It's just end product. It's the killer pass or the killer ball or the killer shot. Like if he was a killer in front of a goal, where that's it, it's a goal, then like that player would be a 60, 65 million pound player for us. Do you know what I mean? But it's getting there slowly. But yeah, he was excellent, mate. And whatever he does on the pitch, long may it continue. Good luck to him. Do you know what I mean? Because he's playing bloody well on it at present. What we got here? Yes, no options on the bench. January can't come quick enough. I agree. I want to see two or three signings in a January window. I want to see Jesse Lingard in out, and I want to see other players here. It's like it's getting a bit silly now. Then when you look at our bench, we've got 5 defensive options, 1 striker who does well in Ukraine, and other players who just don't even cut it. So yeah, what we got here? Let's have a look. We have got Andy Souček looked a different player today. Really surprised of his energy, considering he's playing international duty. I will tell you the reason why Souček played so well today. Great point from Andy, as always. Declan Rice played as a defensive midfielder today, and Souček played as the offensive midfielder. And when they play like that, West Ham win games. When it's the other way around, West Ham don't win games. And it's as simple as that, really. Souček, for how much we like him, he's not a very, very good defensive midfield player. He's a good player, but he's not a good defensive midfield player. And Declan Rice is a world-class defensive midfield player, box to box. And the old debate is, do you want to see Declan Rice progress? And people say, oh, would you like to have Souček move and etc.? I want to see the pair of them stay there, keep it as it is. Like, because Declan Rice, for how good he is, he's a great defensive midfield player. Like, he does his job. He passes the ball. He breaks up play. He goes from defence to attack. He's excellent. And Thomas Souček arriving late in the box is what he does. He does it very, very well. So for me, yeah, I thought Souček was mustard today. I really did. That's the Souček that I see last season. I think Rice, he's just next level, mate. And we've done a show, me, Andy and Jazz, during the international break on Declan Rice. And I love this geezer. I really do at West Ham. I think he's absolutely first class. He's one of the best players I've seen at West Ham in my lifetime. I'm 34 years old. And I asked the boys. I said to them, "Have you ever seen a better midfielder at West Ham in the Premier League era?" And they couldn't answer me. They said, "No, we haven't." Now we've got him, and he's ours, and he's with us, and he loves his club, and he's a captain of his club. Now we've got to work with this geezer, but Declan's he's just next level, and we should be appreciating him for as long as he's at claret and blue shirt, in my opinion. Lawrence, best match of the season for Souček. I agree. I've just skipped the comments, but I will go back to them. I'll just say this. Andy, striker we should be looking at is Ben Breton. Plays for Blackburn, scoring goals for fun. Good to finisher and playing for Chile. He's a good player. He plays for, if I remember rightly, he used to play for Forest, and he was a good player. But yeah, he's one of them ones, really. Do you know what I mean? Very, very good player, I must admit. It wouldn't be a bad punt. Let's go back to some of the comments because they skipped. In my opinion, Dawson can handle the strength of Rondon. He's an ox. I agree. Souček is so tough and go headbutt studs. I agree. Dawson has played well in the last month. Yeah, I've got to admit, Dawson's played all right. He's played well. He really has. The chef is in the house. Scotty Venn, how you doing, mate? Hope you're well and everything's all good. Great result today. Totally agree. Hell yeah, Scott. James, what's your thoughts on Fornals today? I thought him and Ben Rama were both there, but there was nothing there. And it's a worry because if the front four is not on it, where the goal's coming from? We can't keep asking Angela Bonner or Souček to chip in with a goal at a time when we've got four players there who should be doing something. Do you know what I mean? So to me, I thought Fornals was okay. It was okay. He was lucky he didn't get sent off, though. I will say that. He could have easily got sent off if it was a different ref today, I must admit. Do you know what I mean? I must admit that. So, yeah. I disagree. He showed he can use both feet. He did today. Yeah, but I disagree, mate. He's not a left back. Like it's the old saying, square pegs, round holes, and you like it's night and day with Ben Johnson, Hammerhead. It really is. Put him on the right hand side, you see a lot. You see a better player. You really do. And on the left hand side, I just don't see it. I really don't. And I'll happily have him as the right back at West Ham all day long. What we've got is what I say from Pickford late on from Bowen. Yeah, I thought Bowen yet again, as I say, he was excellent. He really was, and he's getting there. Bowen taking some time, but he's getting there. Do you know what I mean? He really is. What we got here? Richard Cox is in the house. Hope you're well, mate. Hope you had a safe journey back. Souček back to quality today. Different system, mate. One sits, one goes, and when it's the right way around and not the other way around, West Ham win games. And West Ham will continue to win games because no one in the Premier League can handle Souček aerially when he's on it. He hasn't scored no goals yet, Souček, don't get me wrong. But I tell you what, if he starts to score goals, then it's only going to look up for us. Do you know what I mean? What we got here? When O'Bonna scored, Rice ran over to the fans. Who says he's unhappy? He's not unhappy, mate. Media, social media, I try and sort of stir it that they don't want him at West Ham. Declan Rice is world class. He really is. He's a world class player. He's a world class talent. He's phenomenal player, and we're lucky to have him. We really are. What else we got here? Let's have a look. We have got Andy's off to bed. Take care, mate. All the best. What we've got? What we got here? Let's have a look. I'm just trying to get all through your comments, everyone. Everyone like the video, support our West Ham boy. Please do. I really do appreciate it if you do. Hammerhead. The way Declan runs straight over to the fans as we score, we love him. Yeah, I totally agree. James, I agree with you with Rice. Yeah, he played for Forest. Yeah, Stuart Atwell today, not for me, I'm afraid. Some of the decisions were shocking. I'm not going to lie. Anyway, I don't know about everyone else in the chat here, but some of these decisions was like schoolboy, very much schoolboy, like just nothing. Like booking Antonio for diving, that's an insult in itself. Like he could have sent off Fornells, right? I think if Fornells does another mistake, he's off. But in the grand scheme of things, I thought he was crap, really. But and what makes me laugh is he's one of the best referees, or supposedly. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, he was poor. Was that our first set piece goal of the season? I believe it was, mate. I believe it was. And that's the thing. We need to start sorting that out and all. Just a shame that the Spurs won, but we'll have a chance next week. And he's off to bed. What we got here? Let's have a look. We have got. Let's go from here now. We've got. Peach is in the house. How you doing, mate? Hope you're well. Peach is in the building. Let's have a look. What we got. Right. So let's talk about David Moyes now. What is your thoughts on David Moyes today? I thought he got it absolutely spot on. I thought he picked the starting lineup. Really, the starting lineup sort of picks itself nowadays. Let's be honest here. I think when you sort of look at things, the team sort of picks itself. The lineup sort of picks itself. And basically, I just thought it's a masterclass performance from Moyes. Was it a smash and grab? In my opinion, no. I thought we deserved it. I think we did, but I must admit, I just looked at it and I just thought, you know what? It's just one of them ones, really. Last week we got robbed against Brentford. We should have, well, if we would have used our loaf, we would have got something from the game. But we didn't. So, and yeah, I was quite shocked, really. Let's have a look at your comments. What we got here, James? Was you surprised he didn't bring on Flassage? A little bit. I won't lie. I was quite surprised. I thought Flassage was on his way on, mate. I thought the front four were like, I thought apart from Bowen, who I thought was decent, the rest of them was shocking, if I speak the honest truth. And basically, I was quite surprised that he was Flassage has still not played a game. Now, come Thursday night, Flassage should play. So let's hope for that. To be honest, I wanted Moyes to bring on Flassage on for Antonio. He was fucked up with 50 minutes to go. I agree. Antonio just like, how can you keep playing this geezer 90 minutes every game? Every single game, 90 minutes. He's going to burn him out. I know he's always did better than I would have. I wanted to bench a Bonner. I must admit, a Bonner proved me wrong. The chef's in the house. Big up to everyone and so forth. And yeah, I thought Moyes, he got it spot on today. He really did. And it's good. Now, it's a big week to sort of round it up. So, because obviously we've had a little chat about that. Everyone in the chat. Our next Premier League game is against them. That team, the team we don't like. And I don't want to lose this game. I really don't. This is one game that every season, it's one of the first games I look at. When have we got them? And next Sunday is a big game. Really is. On Thursday night, obviously, we've got to deal with Genk. I would sort of mix it up a bit. Right, we're comfortable in this group now. I want us to sort of rest some players. I want everyone to be focused for Sunday because I want to beat them. I want to beat them well. And it's one of the games each year that I get nervous about when we play Spurs. It's one of them games. It's one of them games that I can't stand. And it'll be a year and a day to that famous game last season when Lanzini scored that rocket. The 23rd of October, I believe it was. Right. It's on the 24th. So, yeah. Right, I just want to quickly get your thoughts on next week's game. Uh, Obviously, it's a big issue. It really is, like, because I want us to get that win, and then we've got Man City, then Villa the following week. So we've got a couple of our games coming up. So before I get your thoughts, I will go let you write your comments, and I will go through the chat. Yarmolenko only come on for his appearance money and run the clock down. Wouldn't be surprised if Moyes gets 20% of Yarmolenko like the old days, Harry. Yeah, I thought he's another one, mate. Comes on, misplaces a pass straight away. What time is the Spurs match next Sunday? 2 o'clock. It's the same time as it was today. So that'd be next Sunday. The LS Stadium in London, England. And yeah, it's a big game. It really is. It's a big game on all counts for me. And as I say, this week's, I said it beforehand. I said it in the preview, and I said it on different platforms. It's just one of them. Gaza said, James, you said the Everton game was a banker draw. So did I. I did, mate. And let's be honest, it was looking like a draw until Angelo Bonner popped up with that goal. It really did. So I wasn't far off, but I will accept the 1-0 gracefully. 3-2 Hammers. Spurs can score. Yeah, it will be goals in that game. Every time we play Spurs, there's always goals in that game. But it's a big game, and it will boost the confidence. So obviously we've got Genk first on Thursday. Let's get the job done now. Right. Obviously, I want to hopefully Kafal's back, Kral's back. I need to see what the damage is. Do you know what I mean? Even if you have to go with like sort of like a makeshift team, even if we get something out of the game against Genk, I just don't want us to go to play Spurs and lose that game. I want us to like put them in their place. I watched them earlier on. I thought they played pretty decent, if I'm honest. They went 1-0 down. They reassessed it. I know Newcastle ain't the well beaters team, like, but they will be in the future. But they did play well, and Ndombele looked world class. I've got to admit. So yeah, it was a big game. It's a big game next week. So we will see what happens there. So any final thoughts from anyone in the chat? And then I will wrap this up. What we got here. Said from the off, someone would sneak the win, and I say we did. Yeah, I agree. Wasn't vintage, as I say, but it was a job well done in the end. Good, as I said on this on the thumbnail. Good performance, great performance, good win, and that's what it was. Do you know what I mean? West Ham can't go and score 2s, 3s, and 4s every week. We're not that type of team. Like, we used to do it many years ago, but we're not that sort of team. Like, to go and sort of smack teams 2, 3, and 4. And also, I've noticed one thing after an international break, especially with West Ham, it's not very many goals when it comes to it. Do you know what I mean? Then yeah, if Spurs play like us, if Spurs play us like they did the Maggots, we'll come away happy. Yeah, they was all over the place, but obviously we're a better team than Newcastle United, I must admit. So yeah, so that has been. I'm going to wrap it up there. It's coming up to the half-hour mark. I really do appreciate everyone who's been on this chat tonight. Everyone who's been in the comment section, I really do appreciate you all. If you like my content, give it a subscribe. I really do appreciate it. I've got 127, 128 subscribers now. I'm getting there. I'm getting there slowly. I really am, and I'm trying my hardest to get this up as much as I can. So yeah. Daya did say, where are we? Dylan's in the house. Daya did say he was coming on. I've sent him the link. I've sent Tuffney the link, and they're nowhere to be seen. I'm sorry, lads, but they are nowhere to be seen. Mo, how you doing, mate? I really do appreciate coming over. Lads, if you want to subscribe, I really would appreciate it. I really would. Cheers, Hammerhead. And yes, Paul. Oh, see, I've got 11 people watching now. How can I just leave it like that? I can't just leave now. I've got 11 people watching, so yeah, they're probably still live. Get over to them and tell them I've sent them a link if they want to come over to hurry up. Basically, I've got 14 people watching now. But yeah, listen, put your comments in and I'll read them out. Do you know what I mean? What we got here? Let's have a look. What have we got? Oh, nice one, mate. I really do appreciate it. I really do. Thank you very much. Do you know what I mean? Ethan's the same. Hello, mate. Words and pictures, mate. It's an honour. Thank you very much for coming over. I really do appreciate it. We have got the man from the north in.
Yeah, you're right.
Tufty PV. How you doing, mate? I was just about to wrap it up, and I've got a bombardment of people.
Yeah, Dave's coming now.
Yeah, and now I'm gonna have to wait for everyone to come over and have a chat. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll quickly ask you a few things before we wait for Daya to come over. Talk to me, Tufty. What happened today with your lot?
Oh, my lord, we got to talk about that, have we? I think I just want to give a thing to the person who collapsed in the crowd. Just to say, obviously, we all thinking of Newcastle United. We never want to see something like that in a football game, but it happens. And lucky a defibrillator was there on hand, and lucky Newcastle's medical staff were there on hand to help out. And the players, Reguilon and Eric Dye, they got man of the match today for that because they were the first ones to notice a fan on the floor, and that was great by them.
Daya, yeah. I've sent it to you via Facebook Messenger, mate. So click on your Facebook Messenger, and it will be there. But yeah, mate. I must admit though, I did feel for that person in the crowd.
Yeah,
I will admit. I was sitting there watching it, and someone said they see hand presses and all that.
Yeah,
and I must admit, did that affect Newcastle today? Because I think they was just all over the place in that.
I think
especially after that happened.
I think it did. And I think Steve Bruce doesn't help it either. He never went over the players to see if they were all right. He never even spoke to any of the players at half time. What was he saying to them? Now these players would have been in distress because it's their own fan.
Yeah,
it's the one who supports the club. Come on, you at least go over and say to the players, it's all right. He's all right. He's in the best care of hands. Let's go on and win it for him.
Yeah,
Newcastle showed no heart and passion because what is Steve Bruce doing, taking Callum Wilson off and bringing Fraser on and putting him in centre midfield and having no strike after the last 10 minutes? When you're trying to chase a game, you score because Eric Dyer scores in his own net. Unfortunately for Tottenham, he scores in his own net, but you can't rely on that. You cannot rely on someone scoring in their own net. You can't rely on Tottenham making mistakes. Now,
what was funny was when I saw Ant and Dex celebrating, and at the end they're all like deflated. Well, I must admit that was.
You have to go back and watch the celebration when Callum Wilson scored. I went off the fucking rails. I was on my fucking 17th beer by then, but But it was a great day, great atmosphere. The fans throughout sang the heart out, which they always do. But it felt a bit different today. It felt like we were back. It felt like Newcastle were back as a fan base. It felt like we've had this 14 years now, and now we're going. 74th minute, it did turn toxic. With Steve Bruce get out of our club. It's been released tonight that he's gone. Well, that it's going to be released in the morning, and he's gone. The press are already printing their stories for the morning. Good.
Who now, though, Tafty? Who now?
I think Graham Jones needs to take it till January.
Right.
And then I think we need to assess on something in January.
The man, the myth, and the legend.
I think Graham Jones needs to take it.
I've got to stick down in the middle. Do you know what I mean? Because he's the governor of the YouTube game. And
I wouldn't go that far, mate. I wouldn't go that far. But how are you, James? You all right, mate?
All good, mate. I was just talking to Tufty. Obviously, you watched the game earlier. What did you make of that with Newcastle, mate?
Newcastle are going to get relegated, be the richest club ever to get relegated in the Premiership. And I think it's all going to go pear-shaped for them.
See what I've got to put up with. See what I've got to put up with.
No. This is, we've got to talk reality.
We have
According to Newcastle, this is according to Newcastle's board, Amanda Staveley and everything else, right? We can only go by what they're saying. They're only going to spend 100 million over the next 4 seasons on players.
Right.
Well, it's not going to work, is it?
No, obviously not. But that is just a plan. That was just a plan. That was just written. That was just a quick plan. Newcastle are going to come out full in detailed because they're going to come up with a full in detailed statement.
We're talking a big takeover here, Travis. You don't come up with quick plans in business. Set out your fucking business plan, you fucking dreamer, right? Yeah, and they're talking 100 million over 4 years. This is your Amanda Staveley saying this, right? Now, the investment from the Saudis is going into the training ground, which you definitely need because it's like dog shit park, isn't it?
If you want a nice bath, you can get one.
You're going to start investing in bars and stuff and all the rest of it. Remember, they've also got to deal with FFP, right? Now, you can't get around that straight away. To get around that, we know they all get around it, Man City, but it takes time to do that, right? So it probably makes sense, 100 million over 4 years. So you don't look good, mate. To be honest with you, Tuft, I'll see you going down.
I think I do not disagree, though, mate. I think Newcastle will survive because they've got the firepower to go and buy people in January.
Well, no, it's all hype. It's all hype. They've said themselves, James. This is Newcastle have said this themselves. The budget for the next 4 seasons is around £100 million.
But that isn't with the Premier League deal stuff in. That's what they're going to invest. That isn't with the Premier League.
The first team. Yeah, that's not the whole deal. The whole deal, they're going to spend the money on and they say they're going to do it the proper way.
Yeah.
By bringing players through a decent academy, investing in the academy, which is the right thing to do. If me, you, and Tufty were going to buy a football club tomorrow,
we do it that way.
That's the way to run a football club. You're going to see the same thing at Yeovil Town, right? But that is how you do it. But it takes time.
It does.
It takes time. And Geordie fans need to understand when they're outside their ground singing, "We're Geordie boys, we're rich." You ain't actually, right?
Well, you have got to laugh at it, though. You got to laugh at it, though. Really, come on.
We were having a party, man.
We're Geordie boys, rich as fuck, singing outside the stadium.
We were
rich, but because rich men don't always spend loads of money, mate, straight away.
We know.
And then if you're going to run Newcastle for the next 20, 30 years and do it's going to take time to build. And they're probably saying the right things and doing the right things. Because they're not just going to splash the cash on every fucking mug who wants to go to Newcastle for £500 a week.
But then that's good.
What did
good of them?
Before Tufty, before you say anything, mate? Yeah, I just want to ask both of you what you thought about the game today. But obviously, that incident that happened in the crowd there, the man goes down. Looks like a cardiac
attack, isn't it?
Yeah,
you know, heart attack. What a place to have it in a sports stadium where they got all the equipment. And the medical office. Great news.
Do you reckon that affected Newcastle?
Great, that's fantastic news that he survived. He's up talking to his family. Fantastic. He'll probably have a pacemaker or a heart valve stuck in over the next few days or whatever. Obviously, we don't know the details, but one of those things or a bypass. And hopefully he'll go on to live live for another 20, 30 years, you know?
What did you?
Nobody wants to see man down, do they? At the end of the day,
nah. I've got to admit, it was quite shocking, really.
But is it shocking? The thing is it shocking? Though I know it was because it was live on Sky and he went down in the football ground. But we were doing a watch along the other day, Coventry versus it was Peterborough or somebody, and exactly the same thing happened. A fella died, but it's because it's on the telly. That's the thing; it's on the telly.
Yeah.
You know, heart attacks, they go on every day, here, there, everywhere. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, nobody ever wants to watch it. Of course, they don't want to watch it. And you don't expect it live on the telly. I thought the players were great, actually, to be honest. The Tottenham player went over, and I'm not a fan of Tottenham by a long chalk, but
yeah,
to go to the ref, hang on a minute, there's something going on in the crowd over there. Don't you think you should call the game off? Right?
Yeah, I'll tell you what I couldn't understand. One thing I couldn't understand there, right, is Nuno. He comes out, he goes onto the pitch, he's questioning the referee's decision. He's like, well, why's the game got to get stopped? And
he probably didn't realise what was going on, to be honest, did he?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the ref was
it doesn't matter if you've got 60,000 crowd or whatever. One man's life is more important than football, or one woman's life is more important than football.
I agree.
Stop a game for 17 minutes is not a big deal, is it? Do you know what
I mean? But Reguilon came out on his interview and said the ref was going to restart it, but the police went, "No, you're not restarting it." He went like that. You are not restarting this game.
Hammerhead's got a great point here, though, Tufty. He said, Northerners are always deluded bunch of your lot from the north. You always have been. Well, you've deluded about your about your team at some point. So whatever that means. Read it out, Tufty, if you want. Are you deluded, Tufty?
No,
yes or no?
I'm not.
I got another question here. Right, is this one for Tufty? Could Tufty handle relegation?
Yes,
could you though, Tufty? Honestly,
I've handled it 3 times before. I'm sure I can handle it again.
Yeah, and this is.
Can you say that with a straight face, Tufty?
What?
Can you say that with a straight face?
I agree.
Yeah.
And this is a great comment for Words and Pictures, right? There's no way on earth 1.5 trillion crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman, is only going to spend 100 million over 5 years.
I'm only going by what Newcastle.
I'm only going by the business.
I'm going by what Newcastle have said. I'm not saying it.
Or what a journalist reported. Because I'm a unit of a journalist, not Amanda. But
yeah,
if I do get to speak to Amanda, I will let you know.
I know we know what you'll be asking, yeah.
I've actually messaged her on Twitter asking for an interview, but
you didn't get it.
No, still waiting. Still waiting,
Tufty.
We'll get one.
Do you know what I mean? Daya, take it away. Obviously, you watched the game earlier, Cardiff and Swansea. What's going on there, mate? Honestly, it's
Mick McCarthy sacked in the morning. Apparently, all the Cardiff fans are saying that he's gone.
Both have gone in the morning, which is great.
He's lost 7 on the bounce now, including the local derby. You can't do that in Cardiff. I lived in Cardiff, as you know, for many years. Yeah, and with Cardiff City for many years as well. They're a great bunch of fans, Cardiff, very passionate club. But
definitely.
The takeover of Vincent Tan, I fell out with a lot of Cardiff fans over the years. I pulled at the same time I pulled my sponsorship when Vincent Tan actually took over. I just didn't see it happening. At the time, it was like, this ain't going to work. It's not going to work with these Malaysians. They don't know nothing about football. They're a bit of a dictatorship, right? And it hasn't worked. And 12 years later, okay, they got up the Premier League, straight back down again. Okay, people, even my mates will say, look, told you we get the Premier League. They bought their way to the Premier League the first time. When they got up there, they got rid of Malky Mackay, our West Ham mate. I used to drink in the pub with Malky and in Heron House in Burton. And he was under immense pressure, and they stitched him up, called him a racist and all that, and it was all over spite because of Cornelius. They bought one player, Cornelius, for 10 million. And time went absolutely mental because he turned out to be a pony. And that's what it was all about. It was all about money. Malky got stitched up, and I ended up getting a ban from Cardiff City for 10 years, mate. Through them.
It's terrible, really, isn't it? Let's be honest.
I spent millions, mate. Well, a couple of million on sponsorship. You know? So that's how you treat your sponsors. But hopefully they need a new owner, mate. But the trouble is, Vincent Tan's so heavily in debt to the club, or the club is so in debt to him, that it's not going to happen, you know. And he's still bailing the club out, or he was recently. He was having to put £3 million in a year, a month. Sorry, £3 million a month to keep the club afloat. And
Yeah.
Cardiff ain't looking good at the minute. So they need to restructure, mate. They need to restructure. Go and get a manager, a young lad. Which none of this plug in the gap with another old boy. They need to go and get a decent manager and get the system sorted out of Cardiff. The system at Cardiff hasn't been right for years, mate. So not nice to see him struggling, but it's not the Cardiff City that I knew. The football moves on, of course, but no, I don't know who they're going to get. I don't think they can afford anyone big name. And big names ain't going to go there because there's no money to spend on players. So we saw that in a transfer window. It was all loan players. They were begging to get rid of Kiefer Moore. Kiefer Moore looks disinterested now. He looks frustrated. He got turned down the move to Wolves. They bid $7 million.
It was his dream, that.
Eh?
That move. That
well,
was
the lad wanted to go in the Premiership. You can't blame him. 29 years old. He was denied his opportunity to play in the Premiership. Cardiff thought he was worth more. Scored 20 goals, but Kiefer Moore wasn't worth much more than Wolves' valuation was quite right, maybe 7 to 9 million, but no more than that.
How important is it though, Daya, that their next manager's the right one? Now,
it's the same old story at Cardiff City, though, mate. That's gone on for years. You know, they always go for a plug gap manager. Warnock was a plug. Okay, he got them back up, and they came straight back down again with the. Warnock. I'm not a fan of Warnock after the Sheffield United incident with West Ham, but he's a nice bloke actually, and he's quite funny to listen to and all the rest of it. But he took him up with their dinosaur long ball football. It was never going to last in the Premiership. That he should have actually stood down after he got promoted. Warnock himself doesn't enjoy the Premiership. He told you that himself. He doesn't enjoy Premiership football. Warnock's never been a success in the Premiership. He's great at getting Championship clubs up. So what Cardiff City should have done, and Warnock probably should have, knowing that he doesn't enjoy Premiership football, he probably knows it's not his level. Maybe he should have stepped aside then, and they put someone else in charge when they had the chance in the Premiership, maybe with Premiership money, to go and get a better manager. Do you know what I mean? Warnock's a great Championship manager. Doing quite a good job at Middlesbrough now, isn't he? But remember the bloke's 70. What's he 70 something old now? You know, he's still running around the tracks. Played with him.
What's 72 in he? Something like
that. He's older than that, mate.
See, Tufty, I just want to ask this question. Right, Hammerhead says Tufty's more of a Sunderland fan than a Newcastle fan. Is that true, Tufty?
No, it's not. Whatever people are saying, that's a load of shit.
So. Let's have a think then. Who's the next manager for Cardiff? In your opinion?
Jonathan Woodgate.
I think Jonathan Woodgate. I think it's a good shout.
Yeah, Jonathan Woodgate.
I think Cardiff in a position now when you go to a manager for an interview is, truthfully, the first question a manager is going to say, what have we got to spend?
Yeah.
Because obviously the Cardiff squad, you look at them in a minute and you think, oh, that's way off. There's a lot of loan players in there. There's free transfers. You know, they took James Collins from Luton. He hadn't done nothing. They got Giles on loan from Wolves. Kiefer Moore, who doesn't look happy. Right? It's a big task there, mate. You got old guard. Sean Morrison's been there for a few years now, and you got a couple of ex-Bristol City. What's his name? I think his bloody name. Flint, is it not Flint? The other Pack. Marlon Pack from Bristol City. You know, there's no quality. There's not a lot of quality there.
What about Chris Coleman?
No. Thickest bloke in football, mate. Right, dealt with him for years. Right, he's just thick as shit, mate. Honestly, he couldn't do it at Sunderland.
Yeah,
Fulham he couldn't do it. Right, he had a lucky run with Wales. Ramsey and Bale run the show. For most Welsh people know, Ramsey, Bale run the camp. When they had their run in the Euros. No, Coleman, mate. No chance, mate. No chance.
Nah.
If it went for him, it'd be another plug. And it'd be another situation that we got with Mick McCarthy. He's just a young man, Mick McCarthy, Coleman, man.
Yeah, I agree, mate. But I just think a young manager they need, like Jonathan Woodgate would be ideal for them. Like he's around that. Yeah, I just think it would suit him. Like
you need a manager. You need a manager, right? Who's not looking for the money, but he needs to go and prove himself, right? Because a big like even Sam Allardyce. If I was Cardiff board now, the man for me would be Sam Allardyce, right?
Yeah.
But if you say to Big Sam, obviously I know Big Sam well. But Big Sam, first thing, Big Sam, there's no, and Big Sam's not a big Cardiff person, to be honest. He doesn't. Back in the day, he didn't trust the Cardiff board. Remember, there's a lot of deals went on between Cardiff and West Ham and him during that era, right? And he wasn't a big, let's say, he was an advocate for Cardiff City. So I don't think he would take it. I think he's probably happy being out of football now. But if he did take the job, it would probably be on the lines of what have we got to spend? How am I going to rebuild this club? The structure's not there at Cardiff.
Yeah.
And I don't think they could afford him. And I just don't think they could both, but really could probably afford the salary that he'd probably command. But he's banked so many millions now, to be fair to Sam, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't need the headache, if you know what I mean, which would be a headache if you go to a club and they said, look, we'll pay you this, but this is all you got on your, it's a dire thing. But parachute. It's a sad thing of football, really. But when the parachute payments run out, which they have at Cardiff, you're probably sunk in the Championship for a while. You've got to get back out of that Championship, haven't you?
Thing is, I'm going to ask you this, right? Do you think they could get relegated this year, though?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was 18-1 about 3 weeks ago, if I remember rightly. Whenever they played, I can't remember when they played West Brom. I looked at the odds. There was 18-1 to get relegated. It'd be interesting to see what they are now. I do feel.
Can I just answer Hammerhead there? They have said, he's been rumbled. He's a Cardiff. No. I know you're taking the piss, mate, right? But I was a big sponsor. My business sponsored Cardiff City for years. I had some great times at Cardiff City. Sam and Man, great mates.
He helped us get Ginge and Gabs.
I was such a Cardiff fan, Hammerhead. When I knew they were on the cheap, mate, who made the phone call to West Ham to get you Gabs and fucking Ginge? Right? Question. £3 million. What a fucking deal that was. What a deal. What a deal.
Yeah. I must admit.
Dia got on the phone to whoever had got them.
The time man never let me off on that one. But I had to make the call to me club, West Ham. Right, these two would get them £3 million. So it was done. Bang.
So let me ask you this then, Daya, right? Who is Cardiff's next manager, in your opinion? If you had to name, give us a name.
I really don't know, mate. It should be Mick McCarthy. Hasn't been sacked yet.
I think he's on his way.
My mate's on the bus today. My mate's on the bus, even under the CEO of the club. But the trouble is, Cardiff runs unprofessionally as a football club. Always has done.
Can Cardiff, though, Daya, afford to sack him? That's like, you're saying about.
Well, this is the thing, though, mate. They extended his contract after he had a little run for 7 wins. They locked him in. He should never have done that. Now they're going to have to pay him off, but they wouldn't have had to pay him off. But Cardiff City is unfortunately run very, very unprofessionally. You got the CEO getting on the bus today, going down to Swansea. Who went down on the bus, got on the fans' bus, and somebody said we need a decent manager. He said, "Yeah, I know. I wish we had a good one." Right? Along those lines, right? How unprofessional is that? That's got back to McCarthy now, and he's been interviewed about it tonight, and he says, "No, you can hear things, but all the PR bollocks has gone on." But on my show earlier, we rang one of the big head Cardiff support. I think you were on the show then when we done it.
Yeah.
And it's true. He did say it. Right? But the trouble in Cardiff City, they've got a bunch of Malaysians who know nothing about football running the football club. Well, until they go, they'll be in the same boat, mate.
Well, let me ask you this. If Steve Bruce leaves Newcastle and he went to Cardiff,
he's not going to do, mate. Steve Bruce. Again, why would he go to a club with no money? He's just gone through that turmoil at Newcastle have no money to spend for years off Mike Ashley, right? He's just going to say he banks £3 million. Right. Why is he going to rush back into football?
I don't think, though, Daya. I don't think, and this is me honest opinion, I don't think he gets another Premier League job, in my opinion. Steve Bruce.
No, I don't think he will, but I still don't think he'll go Cardiff City. Big club. He'll never be back in the Premiership if he takes another club up.
Yeah, I agree on that, must admit. I just feel that he's...
I had a player at Cardiff years ago, Jason Kumas. Great lad, good player. And I was
really
in
good player.
I was in Marbella. Me, Paul Mohammed, and a few others were in Marbella. Tony Rees, actually, from the News of the World, we were having our little lads break, and we bumped into Kumas in the hotel. And I can't remember what he was doing there, actually, but it's years ago now. But Steve Bruce, right, he said was one of the worst manager he'd ever played under, right? But Bruce's training trips and pre-seasons were a joke, right? Yeah. Steve Bruce loves a pint. Absolutely love. I think Kumas was going to Wigan, or was it Wigan then? I can't remember. I think Bruce was manager at Wigan. Was he manager at Wigan? I can't remember the club now.
Steve Bruce was manager at Wigan, yeah.
Hull. He was manager Hull, Birmingham, Villa.
Yeah, it was Wigan, right? And he said, that's right, he was playing for Wigan at the time, not just before he came to Cardiff. And because obviously you can work out yourselves how he ended up at Cardiff, right? But
you rang them up and went, you can get them on the free, you know, Cardiff.
No. It was I can't go into it, but it wouldn't be right. But
okay,
certain people then, should we say, took him to Cardiff, right? Yeah. And Dave Jones allowed him to. Well, I got on well with Dave, or I'd be fallouts with Dave as well. But Dave Jones would allow it. Very homebird. Jason Kumas was a homebird. But anyway, what he said, that's right. He was there with Wigan at the time, and they were on a mid-season break in Marbella, right? And he said, I said, were you training that we were meant to be? He said, we're doing half hour in the morning, going on the piss all day. But Steve Bruce loves the play. You can tell by Bruce.
Big his face.
Hey, you can tell by his face as well.
Yeah.
He's old school Steve Bruce. He loves a pint. His pre-seasons are the easiest pre-seasons when you're a professional football player, according to players. And I just don't think he did all right at Hull, didn't he? He did okay, really, didn't he?
He did all right at Villa first time round.
Okay again, but
he's an okay manager. He's not
a Premiership manager, mate. He's not Huddersfield or someone or whatever. He's a good manager or whatever.
He's a Championship / League One.
Yeah, he's not a Premiership manager. It's a massive game. Warnock, in fairness, if we go back to Neil Warnock tell you, I hate the Premiership. It's not my type of football, right? The difference between a Championship player and a team and a Premiership player team is massive. Absolutely massive, mate. You've got to have real pedigree to be a good Premiership player. Not a Norwich, they go up and down, yo-yo clubs and so forth. But it's a whole different football match when you play in the Premiership. And it's been proven time and time again. The only ones who've survived really in the Premiership are Burnley.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even them, I think what it is, I think they've been very, very lucky, Burnley.
The match of the day comes on. When do you go make your cup of tea? You go make your cup of tea when Burnley are on. You know, exactly. They're going to thump the ball up. Sean Dyche, again, is that... I think he could be good with a better squad, Sean Dyche, but you watch Burnley, it's like watching fucking paint dry, isn't it? It's Championship football, Premiership.
Would you say Sean Dyche would be a good match?
You take Burnley versus Brentford against Brentford. Brentford are outstanding side in the Premiership, but they came up playing on the basis of Premiership football.
But what it is with Brentford, I will say this: they've been working on that for the last, say, 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
What they've done, they've built a team that even when they was in the Championship, they had players in that team who could have got to the Premier League. That was just very unlucky. They lost the final.
Let's take Queen's Park Rangers at the moment. If you go and watch Queen's Park Rangers, They play fantastic football. But sometimes that football doesn't work in the Championship as well as you think it would, or you don't get it to click. But QPR in the Premiership would be a good side now.
Hammerhead says here, good comment this one. West Ham are a massive team in the grand scheme of things. We are the only one of 8 teams in all English football never to be below the 2nd division. That's a big team.
Yeah, it is a big team, Hammerhead. I totally agree, mate. Totally agree. Good comment. Good comment.
And finally, let's talk a bit about West Ham today. Obviously, you boys watched the game. It wasn't vintage, but we got it done. Dyer, that front four, mate, when it ain't on the ball, we ain't the same team, are we, mate?
No. I think I'll go to our favourite player first, Ben Rama. I thought he had a poor game today. And I'm fed up of seeing, if I'm quite truthful, I'm fed up of seeing Ben Rama laying the ball off too quick. Right? I want to see him run it, players. He picks the ball up. He's just outside the box. Run into the box, Benny. Go for it, son. You've got all the skill in the world to beat a player. All the skill in the world to beat a player, right? But for some reason, he's not doing it. But we saw it today. He'd be out left, and he cut in. He beat 1 man, 2 man, get into the box. When he's in front of the box, you don't do it. I don't understand what's going on there. And there were some passes he made today. You think, why did you pass to him? Fucking go for it, son. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
Fornals had a poor game today. Fornals, I think, was rattled by the early yellow card, to be honest. Of course, he doesn't want to get himself sent off. Personally, I would have took him off at half-time, Fornals. But I can understand Moyes is thinking, who have I got better to replace Fornals? We're still 0-0. Who am I going to put into that slot? Who would you put into that slot?
I must admit, I agree. I will answer that. I just want to answer this. Crowd tested positive for COVID on Thursday. He's been vaccinated. He won't be available for Genk. But will he be available for Spurs, Freshfield? If you could answer that, mate, it'd be handy to let me know.
Should be. It depends how you recover from COVID, of course. Everybody's got a different recovery rate from actually having COVID. Some people test positive for COVID, don't feel a thing. Other people feel rough. People who actually had the people I know that have had COVID, have had 2 jabs, fully vaccinated, right, and then still catch COVID, feel rougher than people who. So it's a weird thing, this COVID. So I think what he's got to do is isolation, isn't he? Obviously,
his isolation period will be up next Saturday.
Personally, how does he feel? You know, depends how good or bad he's at it, really. So we won't really know on that one, will we?
Yeah, his isolation period will be up on Saturday. You play Sunday.
Well, Words and Pictures, who has put a comment here, 3 points to the gods of football today.
Moyes ain't going to play him against the Spuds. He doesn't play him against Brentford. He hasn't used him. Right, he's only used him a little bit in Europe.
But what it is, though, there's no Noble now. Because Noble's injured now, isn't he?
No, he got a hip injury, apparently.
Yeah, so that's a bit of an issue. Let's get into a few of the comments quickly. Ben Rama putting a beautiful ball in today, but Antonio headed it backwards rather than diving forward like a proper striker.
Yeah, he did.
I saw that one. We have got, they've skipped, let's have a look. Burnley can do another Sunderland and they can keep hanging around the relegation battle. I agree.
Yeah, agree.
As great as Antonio is, that's the difference between Mickey and a proper striker. I do agree with Scott there. I think Antonio gets away with murder because he's done great for us.
Yeah,
I really do.
Because he's your only striker. Who else are you going to murder? Vlassi?
He'll be available. It's a 7-day thing, 5 to 7 days.
Yeah, but it's available. It's a 7-day thing. The infection thing depends how you feel, of course, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because you could have long COVID and long COVID 3-4 weeks.
Yeah.
He's world class, mate. World class.
What did you choose?
I think we're going to get priced out of it. I don't think we'll be able to afford to keep him, to be honest.
What do you make of Ben Johnson today, you lads?
Brilliant,
Very good.
I tell you what, I'd leave him in the side, mate. I wouldn't play him on Thursday, and I'd play him against the Spuds. I think Soufal, we all rave about how much we spent for these checks and how hard they work and all the rest of it. But Soufal, for me, this season hasn't been the same Soufal as last season. Hey, I'm not saying he's had some good games. He's played all right, but he doesn't seem the player of last season to me at the minute. He's playing a lot of football, obviously. Ben Johnson looked a bit fresh. And I was a bit frustrated on the watch along we were doing today. There was so many opportunities when Ben Johnson got himself into so much space. We didn't play him the ball. We kept cutting into the middle when the ball never went anywhere, and we could have laid it out to Ben Johnson. He could have charged up the pitch. Sufal gets the opportunity to go up the pitch, right? Today, Ben Johnson, they weren't giving him the ball enough to let him make those runs.
Yeah, I agree. What about you, Tufty? What did you think of Johnson today?
I think Johnson played really well. I think it just shows you a young Englishman can do that. Obviously, Kufal's been obviously out injured, and he hasn't really shown again. He's been good this season, but he hasn't really shown much, has he, this season? Last season, he showed everything. This season, he's been a bit...
The thing is, the only thing I will say, I know Dale ain't going to like what I'm about to say, he won't, but I just think they're knackered. I do. I really do think they're knackered.
But then I put that debate the day, and he said, no, they can't be knackered. It's like...
Because what it is...
How can you say Antonio's knackered? He just had 2 weeks off.
Not Antonio, like the Czech boys, like... I must admit, Souček did look good today. I must admit, he looked better.
The only thing has nothing to do with rest. He played for the Czech Republic, see, James.
Yeah.
We changed it back to what we've all been saying.
Which I agree.
Yeah.
And what it was...
That's why your rest thing comes out, gets blown out the window. Moyes, one of the hardest pre-season, he has one of the fittest sides going, Moyes. It's fantastic, that Moyes. He demands...
Yeah, I agree.
Pre-season and through the season, blah, 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 blah. So we as fans start using cliches when we have a bad game, right? Oh, he's knackered, he's tired. Oh, because the instant thought was we're playing in Europe now. But when you look at who gets played in Europe and who doesn't get played in Europe, right?
Yeah.
It's all there. This being tired is fucking bollocks, to be honest with you, mate, right? And it's been proved. I could prove it in instances like I just have there. Souček today was class. Best game he's had all season. But so he's not knackered, is he? All of a sudden he pepped up. He's just been playing in Europe. He hasn't been rested, right? Change the system back. Declan Rice sits, Souček goes forward. That's how his game suits. And so I don't wash any... Cresswell played every game near enough, hasn't he? He doesn't look knackered, Cresswell, does he?
See, I must admit, I agree with you there, but I just don't know. Just something not right with Cresswell. I must admit.
Souček, he's carrying a knock, isn't he? He's carrying a knock, anyway, right? But what I'm saying is, I don't put it down to tiredness. Right. He had a knock. I just don't think players coming in and out of form, don't they?
Yeah.
And let's be honest. If we're really truthful, he's a great player, right? But I don't think it's tiredness with him. I think he's a little bit off form. Players will always go in form, out of form. And sometimes levels of play, that's what's happened to Souček. But mind you, the worst performances were, now we find out he's been, why was he playing when he's carrying a knock? That don't make any sense to me. I find that as poor management because Ben Johnson could have slotted in there whilst he's injured.
Well, then David Moyes won't Ben Johnson.
Words and pictures has got this. I just got to answer this. Running the show is not the same as guesting, James? Oh yes, sir. Oh yes, I must admit. But I would get there in time. It's all good.
Well, Len, can you do one of your characters of Tufty with a burqa on his head? I'd love to see one.
No, you can't do that.
No, I reckon you can knock one of them up, Len. Give us a laugh.
Who was man of the match for you today? From both of you, I'll ask both of you this.
It's hard. Who?
Take the race.
I'm gonna go.
I went with a Bonner myself.
Yeah.
Bonner had a good game. First half, he was a little bit, not too much, but a little bit dubious. Declan Rice for me. Declan Rice.
Yeah,
he's world class today, man.
Yeah, I'm definitely going Oggy, me. I think Oggy played really well.
He is world class, mate. And when I still have this debate with different people and different platforms, and they ask me, they say, "How can you say he's world class, John?" I say the reason.
Why do you think Real Madrid are punting 120 million around, right? Ready to go for it. Whether he takes it or not is up to Declan Rice, isn't it? But you don't attract Real Madrid,
Yeah,
and they're world class. And Declan Rice is world class. And today he was absolutely superb in everything that he done.
I've got to admit, I agree.
Defending everything, mate, he's brilliant.
How much are he worth at the minute, Declan?
150 million.
Yeah, I've just seen a comment there from Scott.
If I was the owner of West Ham, I wouldn't take any less for Declan Rice.
175 million.
He is absolutely people. I said to Big Sam's personal PA, he wasn't employed by West Ham, but he's employed personally by Sam Allardyce, which does go on in football. Matthew Rogers. And I said to Matthew years back, I said, Declan Rice is the next Bobby Moore if he stays at West Ham. And I think he's better than Bobby Moore, to be honest with you. He's getting there. But he won't be Bobby Moore because he will leave the club, unfortunately, unless he decides to stay, of course. Right? But who's going to turn down when you're on undergrad? I just don't think West Ham are ever going to be able to afford him. 100 grand a week compared to 500 grand a week. He's 500 grand a week, mate. Real Madrid.
Can't West Ham afford
exactly what Real Madrid need. And how can you knock the boy for not, he's got a 10-year career left ahead of him, say, on average. Yeah. You've got to take the money. We're in the money game, aren't we? But he's worth 100. I would go for 100. If a club coming to me as the owner of West Ham, I want 150 million before you can start talking.
I'd say 175. I think he's world class. I think.
He won't go that far. But
no,
he is world class. He's an absolute world class player. He carries the ball. He drives forward.
I've got a question for you right now. Right?
The thing you got to ask yourself is, what does Declan Rice actually do wrong? Nothing.
He doesn't do nothing wrong.
Not really. I will say this though. I'm going to ask these people in the chat and all. I want people to name their three best defensive midfield players in the Premier League. And I'm going to ask both of you this now. So name me your three best defensive midfield players right now.
Kante was one.
Kante, I'll go with that, Tufty. Declan Rice is
Declan Rice is two.
Declan Rice is the best one, to be honest with you.
Right,
Kante is another one. Third. Best is hard to call, isn't it? Really. They're the top.
Fernandinho.
Would you say Tielemans? Like Scott's put here.
Yeah, he's not bad. Fernandinho's not bad.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say Tielemans is a defensive mid.
Would you say Gundala, if he was playing, he would be up there, but he's not, so you can't say
he's not playing, so you can't call that, can you?
Fernandinho.
Yeah, I'd go Fernandinho. It's got to be in there.
Does Pogba count? No, he's not a defensive mid.
No, he can play it.
And Henderson.
I wouldn't say Henderson.
Not a bad shout, actually, to be fair.
I tell you, I do like.
Yeah, Henderson. I think Henderson would be in there for me, actually.
But where would he go?
But wouldn't you say Fabinho for Liverpool?
Oh, he's good as well.
Fabinho, you mean? Yeah.
Your top five could be.
Yeah, no, Fabinho, isn't it? Fabinho for Liverpool, yeah.
So your top five
close between him and Henderson. The third spot's hard, but Kante and Rice miles ahead of the third.
Calvin.
Not at the minute.
Don't think he's in the right club to shine enough, Freshfielder.
Yeah, I agree with that.
If he went with Big Four,
we saw in a different grade team, should we say?
If he went with a top 4 club or a top 6 club, we'd see better out of him. Yeah.
Let me ask you this, right? And I asked this in the chat and all. If West Ham was to go and sell Declan Rice for, let's say, 150 million, and we went and bought Calvin Phillips from Leeds, is that a like-for-like replacement? Sort of thing.
Close. I think Declan Miles is better than Calvin Phillips. But if you're going to replace it, you need a Premiership player. You'd go for Calvin Phillips. Yeah,
I agree.
We sold Declan Rice for 150, but we're buying Calvin Phillips for 80 million. I wouldn't be upset, if you know what I mean. I would be upset because obviously I don't want Declan Rice to leave West Ham. But I don't think Declan Rice actually wants to leave West Ham. But from a financial career perspective, it'd be mug not to do so.
I think he's. I've got to be honest, there. I look at him every time. I look at Rice.
Declan Rice, top football team.
Yeah,
who could afford to pay the dough.
See, with Scott seeing Douglas Luiz from Villa, he's not on the pay grade.
When he's not in jail.
Yeah. Yeah, I must admit he's thinking. But no, listen, like I say, but let's talk about it before I sort of come towards the end, right? That change of system today, Daya.
Very good.
Tufty.
Very good.
Obviously, Souček went, Declan sat.
And Declan works well in the pivot, and I said this on the watch along. Declan works well in the pivot. Put him in the pivot every game. West Ham pick up more points. Put Souček in that pivot. West Ham drop some points.
I agree. I really do. I just
Shiny mate's good. Yeah. What would happen there? Can you knock that one up, James? Shiny G. My mate, Shiny G.
Shiny G. I'll get to the comments in a minute. We have got how much of the Rice though will get to invest in the squad. The Haller money seems to have disappeared. Potentially, we could build a great squad.
Do you know what happened? In my opinion, what we 150 million in debt? We're told at the minute, aren't we?
That's a clear debt, isn't it?
There you are. That's where it'd go.
Yeah. Sickening, that is. What we got? Words and pictures. Glad to be here, James. Well hosted and produced. Good work. Nice one, mate. Thank you. And I hope you're subscribed, sir. But listen, let's talk about that change of system there. We was calling for it all week. Me and you said the same thing. You said if Declan Rice is our DM, we win games. When he's our attacker, we seem to struggle.
But let's be honest, every fan called it, didn't they? Every fan, every YouTube show, we all watch football, don't we? So it was that clear, wasn't it? Moyes had no option in my book to change that.
Yeah.
And hopefully he saw it himself as well. But everybody's seen it, haven't we? Everybody's seen it. And, it was the right move to do. And job done.
Right. This is a question I'm going to ask, right, before we sort of wrap it up. And I asked it earlier on. I want to ask you to it because it'd be interesting to know. If a bid come in for Souček right now in January, say a bid come in for, say, 60 million, would you go and sell him, go and put that money towards a defensive midfield player and have Rice as the advancing midfield player?
Yes.
And why is that there?
It's Rice's class going forward, mate. We've seen it. Look at the goals he smashed in this season. You could see that he loves going forward as well. And you can't restrict a great player, right? You've got a world-class player there. So he's obviously, you can see what's going on, right? He's obviously said to Moyes, look, I want to go forward. I can do it. I can do it, Gaffer. I can do it. And he's proved that he can do it, right? And when Declan Rice is carrying the ball forward, he's fucking world-class. Right, so you can't stop a player doing that. Although we've had to do it in a minute, we're restricting Rice a little bit, maybe, right? But you saw it earlier when Souček went off today, and then Rice then went on the charge, right? He was right up there. I thought he was going to go on for another one of his mazy runs and smash it in the back of the net today.
But do we lose that sort of defensive protector, like? Because I look at listen, I know he's never going to be as good as Claude Makelele, but that's who Rice sort of reminds me of. He's that sort of anchor man. He sits there, he gets the ball.
He's an all-rounder, really. I'll tell
you
what, he's just
like a Yaya Toure.
The trouble is, he is just a phenomenal football player, mate.
Yeah.
If you asked him to go and play centre half, you wouldn't get a bad game out of him, right? If you ask him to play up, I wouldn't be surprised you could play him up fucking front. To be honest with you.
See, Mark says here, Rice and Souček are a great partnership. I do agree with that.
No, they are. Don't sell, but we're not going to be able to afford Declan Rice unless Sullivan goes crazy and says, "Right, we're paid him." How can you afford Declan Rice when he's worth, salary-wise, he's going to be worth £500,000 a week?
Yeah,
that's 400 grand more than he earns a week now.
I just feel though that
sadly,
I just feel really, if I'm honest, I think when Deck is sitting there in front of that shield of that defence, we look a far better team.
Oh.
Like we look defensively stronger. We look compact. He's better on the ball, and I think.
But he breaks up play. His best asset for West Ham is when they're coming on the attack and he wins the ball, he snaffles the ball up, he breaks up play. And then we get on the counter.
Yeah, I agree. I really do. It's an hard one. It is such a hard position to be in.
Good player. The thing is, he can do it all. That's our problem. He's so good. He's so good. He's become a problem, if you know what I mean. If that makes sense, right? He is a phenomenal football player.
The problem is,
and each week we watch him, we see more to his game every time to his game. He's got more and more and more and more, and he is Bobby Moore.
Yeah, I think he's. Yeah, I must admit, when you say that, I watched videos of Bobby Moore, and I'll be honest with you, I know he's a legend, mate. He's a legend for West Ham, especially. And I look at the way
he plays, wins the ball. He's fucking great in the air. He's great with the feet. He goes on that run. He can go on that run. And he doesn't just take the ball 2 yards up the pitch. He takes it halfway up the pitch. No one gets near him.
Yeah.
We saw it today. We saw him doing it today.
The thing is...
Duncan Edwards. That's a great shout, fresh fielder. Duncan Edwards. I don't know if you've probably never seen Duncan Edwards play, right?
No.
But Duncan Edwards was a phenomenal football player. Very similar to Declan Rice. That's a great shout, fresh fielder,
that. Michelin says Souček ain't 60 million player. You get 35 million if you're lucky.
Well, you say that we paid 33 million for Vlasic and he's fucking rubbish. So that.
Yeah, I must admit, it's one of them ones, isn't it? What do you do there? Listen, I think he's worth more than 35. I think he's worth at least 45, if not 50. I think for what he does, he's only young, and that I don't want to sell Souček though.
No, I don't see him ever getting sold, mate. To be honest, comes over from the Czech Republic. He's landed at West Ham. He's getting a great wage. Right, he's a good player, and I think he's settled, and he'll make his money at West Ham. To be honest, unless we want to get rid of him, of course.
From the Anvil, hope you're well, sir. Everything's all good for you, mate. The thing is, though, Daya, do you find, though, with Declan Rice is the same. He reminds me of a Yaya Toure type player. If you're going to describe Yaya Toure, describe him.
Rice is better. He's world class, mate. That lad is probably going to be the hottest prospect, or if he's not already, actually. But he is the hottest prospect in British football.
James, Duncan Edwards got killed in the Munich air disaster. He hung on for a few days, I think.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he would have been one of the greatest football players ever in Manchester United, mate. He was absolutely awesome. And I'm only going back from tapes and that and history as a kid, right? But it's bang on the money, that fresh fielder. Right.
So as we're coming towards the end, let's wrap it up on this. David Moyes, if you was rating him, you've only got to give a rating for Moyes for me. Give us a rating, out of 10 for David Moyes today.
Well, for today?
Yeah. Right, I'll quickly go through everything what he's done.
There wasn't much more that he could do. I'd give him an 8. I'll tell you why. I'd give him 8, stroking 9. The only thing that concerned me about Moyes today, he didn't take off Fornals. I think he could have took Fornals off. Yeah. What's going on with Vlasic? Who knows? Because it's like he can't turn to the bench and come up with a game changer. That worries me. But that's not Moyes' fault, so to speak, is it? Really? But and Moyes, when Souček went off for treatment, we were down to 10 men for too long. I thought once he was down, Souček, the physio gets on the radio that he's going to need stitches. He's got a nasty gash in his head and all the rest. Should have been a sub warming up straight away. Playing with 10 men is always risky at any time. And that's the only thing I think he hung on too long to see if Souček would get. There was only 10 minutes of the game left. So even if he patched up Souček, right, you would have got him back on in time to make a difference. You're better off getting. That's the only thing I could really fault him for today, to be honest.
Yeah. Tufty, I'll ask you the same question, mate. If you obviously Well, you're not a West Ham fan, but you're neutral. So, what did you think? What did you rate Moyes today, from an outside looking in?
I give him a 9.
Get that Anvil lads comment. He makes a good point about Declan Rice.
I think a 9.
That's a great from the Anvil says Rice is moulded into his own type of. He has the glance and carrying of the ball, and he is bang on, mate. Bang on.
Yeah.
Bang on.
Yeah, I think a 9. I think a 9 is a fair result. David Moyes. I just think it could have been 10 if they had a striker, a proper striker.
I must admit, I agree with you, Tufty. I went for a 9. I think the only thing that sort of done it for me a little bit, that where it won a 10 for me, was that
for Moyes.
Yeah, like for Moyes, the only reason why I've gone for a 9, I think he put Ben Johnson in because he had no choice. He had no right back at the club. It's a big call that he done today, Dale, with Rabona, because a lot of people would have said he needs to sit out. I've said that last time.
I would say after the last performance, I was calling it because Diop hadn't done nothing wrong.
Yeah,
absolutely nothing wrong, and I think Diop does deserve a chance in the first team. But only 11 men can play, don't they?
Yeah, and I think he picked the right team.
A lot of managers, he stays loyal to his players, mind.
Yeah.
If you watch Moyes, he does stay very, very loyal to his players. And he doesn't, if you have a bad game, he doesn't hold it against you. And he still plays you the next. Look at Fabianski, example. I don't think Fabi's done anything wrong. I don't think he's done anything to deserve to be dropped. I think fans have been a bit harsh on him at times.
I think people, what it is though with that, just to cut in, Areola, everyone knows Areola's the better goalkeeper. Everyone knows it. You know it. I know it. Tufty knows it. Everyone knows Areola's.
I haven't seen it in the West Ham shirt yet, mate.
Yeah, I know, but then
he had that much opportunity.
He's had 2 games and 2 clean sheets. So,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
the games that he was involved in, one was in Europe. He didn't have to do anything. We could have played without a goalkeeper, to be honest. That game.
Shiny G says a comment here. We have the same conversation about subs every week. Good tactics today, though. We with a tired-looking team, I'll give him a 9.
Yeah, but tired. So, I don't do that tired. See, I don't do that tired.
Now, I understand what he's saying. I understand what he's saying there. When you keep playing the same team over and over again, like for instance today, I know
the same team.
I know. Well,
Ben Rama, you could say, did he play much for Algeria when he went away?
He did play.
He went to Spain. Maybe you could say Fornals was not on form today. Was it tiredness? I don't think so. I think it's because he got a yellow card early and then he was under pressure.
I think there's a lot of issues today with regards to the players. I think the manager got it spot on, but then some of the players, Antonio.
Hey, we've gone to Goodison Park where we normally don't get a result.
Yeah.
We've gone and smashed and grabbed it. We grabbed the goal. We could have scored more, to be honest. That's my worrying thing. Is that my biggest worry about West Ham at the moment is we don't take our chances.
Yeah.
You don't take our chances. You've got to be clinical.
Yeah, I agree.
You can't. The amount of times we miss, right?
Yeah.
We should hit the target. Antonio today, for instance, he not went into fucking Anfield today.
Right? See, Mark R, right? I'm just going to put this comment out because I do agree with this, yeah? And I asked someone this earlier.
That's a great comment.
Right.
Dawson came on fantastic.
Right.
Come on.
Was you shocked there, right, that Dawson come on instead of Diop?
No, I wasn't shocked because because Moyes has a lot of faith in Dawson more than some of us supporters do. So it wasn't a shock. It wasn't a shock for me. I
thought he played well.
He did. And he played well the last time he played as well. You know, he's still doing it. Yeah. Hey, what a boy, really. Come on, you got to look at the values we play for these players as well. What do we pay for Dawson? 2 million?
2.2. 2.2 million.
Yeah, call it 2.5 million then, right? What a boy that is, really. For a £2.5 million player in the Premiership. It's a steal, isn't it? He doesn't really, of course he's got a ricket in him. We know he has. You can't expect the £2.5 million player in the Premiership not to have a ricket in him, right? Yeah. But he plays with his heart. He's in there.
I've got to admit though, he's played well, Dawson, since the Newcastle game when he was awful at the start of the season.
Yeah, it's the only bad game he's really had.
Yeah.
No, he slipped up a bit against Man United, didn't he?
Yeah.
Didn't he have a record against Man United? But no, you can't look for 2.5 million. What a buy. So no, I wasn't surprised to see Dawson come on.
Yeah.
Not at all. Not at all. It's probably
Yeah.
the right. It's proved it was the right thing to do at the game. So well done again, David Moyes.
See, Fresh Field says here someone made a good point somewhere else. Dawson defends better than Diop when under pressure on the edge of the box. Good reasoning, I thought. Yeah,
I don't think we get to see enough of Diop at the minute. Every game Diop's played, he strolled it really, but he hasn't played a lot of games, has he?
Yeah, I must admit, I'm liking. The only thing I don't like about this rotation system is that we keep rotating our centre halves, and then let's be honest, we've only got one left back at the club, and we've only got one right back at the minute. Do you know what I mean? Because all our players are injured.
That's a bit. We know Arthur can't play left back.
Yeah.
So when it comes to Genk, because of that bad, I'd probably throw Arthur in and rest Cresswell. You're going to have to.
Yeah.
Cresswell cannot keep. People are moaning about Cresswell. Oh, he's dead ball at me. He's good this season. On times he's had some great games, but you can't play a player every game. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I think Declan Rice gets in a lot. Well, we rested Declan. He's even out of the rest, but. And I reckon that was forced. I bet you Declan Rice is knocking on that. But let me play Gaffer. Let me play Gaffer. Let me play Gaffer.
Yeah.
Moyes has had to say, hang on, Declan, you've got to have a break at some stage, mate. Right? But poor old Cresswell, everyone knocks Cresswell, right? Well, not everybody knocks him. He has, but you know what I mean? But there's no opportunity for him to have a break.
Fresh Fielder says, stop saying Genk are bad. Or Gent. Well, are they bad, or are they just? I'll tell you who they have got up front. They've got a player. They've got a player that we was linked with, a striker, Paul Oniechio, I think his name is. So we'll be seeing him on Thursday. Big Nigerian striker up front. Solid.
Tufty, what did you think? What's their form? You got it up earlier, didn't you? Where are they in their Belgium league?
They've lost a canny few games. They're not very good.
Yeah, Arthur should play Thursday. Totally agree.
Yeah, I said Arthur on Thursday.
So beat them 2-0 today. They're way down the Belgium league, which ain't the greatest league in the world. I'd say they're pretty shit, Fresh Fielder myself, mate. They're fucking Europe.
Yeah. So who do you think plays on Thursday then, mate? To sort of
we were talking about that earlier. I mean, Tufty on the Days Banter show. If you haven't subscribed, anyone viewing, please come and subscribe to the Days Banter show. But we were talking about a bit of publicity there, but we were talking about it earlier. And we went on the base. Tufty got their form up and said they're shit, right? So who do they? Sporting Dill Charlie, what have we got? Yeah, 2-0 there. I lost 2-0. It's got to be the B team. I would go. We were talking about this earlier. What did we come up with, Tuft?
We'll come up with the B team.
We'd have all the reserve players in, right? We'd have Yarmolenko starting.
Right.
Ariola.
Scott's put his team in. I just want to put this in.
Here we are. Scott's remembered it.
This is Scott's team. All right. We'll see if you agree. Ariola. Yes or no?
In there.
You'd probably say, Ariola. Arthur.
Yeah.
Yeah, agree with that. Diop agree with that. Dawson agree with that.
Right.
Johnson. I'd say Johnson
play.
I'd save Johnson, see. But the trouble is we don't know who's injured. We need a press conference, really, to know who's injured, who's not injured. I wouldn't risk Johnson in that one. I would actually save him for the Spuds. And if Soufal's ready to come back, I'll put Soufal in there. Lanzini, I agree with. Rice.
No.
I think he's just played for England and whatever, 2 games as well. I'd give him a break, personally. But Noble is Noble going to be fit? How bad is the hip injury? It's down to injuries, mate, really, isn't it? Right?
He's out.
Fornals, I wouldn't leave. I'd rest Fornals as well. Vlasic, I'd definitely play him. Yama, I'd play him. Bowen again. I'd try and rest Bowen as well. I'd put bodies in there to replace Bowen, definitely. Fornals, I'd put a body in there to replace him. And the rest of it's all right. Apart from Johnson, I would put Soufal in if possible. for Johnson. I would start Johnson. You can't drop Johnson after his performance today. He deserves to start against the Spurs.
Do you know what? That team's not too bad. I must admit, Areola, I agree with that. Diop, yeah. Dawson, yeah. Arthur, I think Arthur might play a bit further forward as a winger, left-sided winger, rather than.
Who's going to plug that left gap with them?
Good question.
We ain't got one. Mate.
I'm wondering whether I know, but I'm wondering whether he's going to go with a youngster. There, it wouldn't surprise me. Like Ashby or something.
The game probably is the game to do it. We got Tottenham on Saturday, Sunday, whatever it is.
Sunday,
was it Sunday in it? Right. So Scott says 4-3-3.
Right.
I wouldn't play Ben Rama. This is Freshfield. Johnson. Would you prefer Freshfield though? Do you think Johnson deserves to play against Spurs?
I don't think he done anything wrong today. Not to play. That's the thing.
Know, if you have a great game like he had today, and I'd have given him a 9 today out of 10, right? What how's that going to motivate a player if you get dropped for the next game?
Do you know what I would do? I'd play 3-4-3 against this team. I would play Cresswell, Dawson, Diop as a 3 at the back.
Remember, you still got to win the game, man. We still got to win the game.
Right? I think, not being funny, if we drew the game, it's not an issue.
It's not a bad result, but I think you'd be better off. You should always go to look to win the game.
Oh yeah, we want to win the game, obviously, and Vlasic.
I think that's there. He's saying play Antonio. I wouldn't play Antonio.
Right.
I wouldn't play Ben Rama.
Wouldn't play Ben Rama. Wouldn't play.
Could be a game for a couple of the youngsters to have a crack. To be honest.
Yeah, I agree with that, and hopefully,
I know. Freshfielder says they're not shit, but they are shit, in my opinion. Right? No. This is the game. Put the bold heads in there. This is the game to get ready for the Tottenham game because we've just progressed back up the Premiership, and we must keep the focus on the Premiership. We can't let that slip for Europe.
Yeah, I mean, we've got this one here. Scott said that gives rest to Fab, Bonner, Zuma, Cresswell, Ben Rama, Antonio, Kufal, and Souček. Cresswell don't need a rest, in my opinion. I will say, I don't believe he does because he's had 2 weeks off. He didn't play for England, so he's just had a rest. So he don't need another rest.
Yeah, I suppose you can help that.
Bonner, does Bonner really need a rest? Does
Zuma need a rest then?
Zuma don't really need a rest either. If I'm honest,
saying that remember these are players. You want to play them Thursday. They travel back Thursday night.
No, they're at home Thursday. It's at the LS on Thursday. Yeah. So to me, West Ham should be going out, trying to get the job done in the first 60 minutes, like he did in Zagreb.
Play Thursday, but he's still got to perform Sunday.
But don't forget, Spurs have got to play away on the same night, and they've got to go to Vitesse Arnhem in Holland. So
true.
To me, I just think go out there, get the job done, see it out, and try and be as professional as you can be. Do you know what I mean? And then obviously we've got.
Says I didn't say they weren't shit. I said stop saying they are. They were. How does that fucking work then?
Yeah.
No team's shit. I think I know where he's coming from. No team is totally shit, right? But we should roll them over easy, to be honest, at home as well.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to. This is the final comment of the evening, and Dylan says,
"Don't forget we play Man City in the Cup Wednesday too."
Yeah, but that's what. If you want to be a successful team, we've got to do it. Do you know what I mean?
When have we got Man City? Hang on. Fixture this. I've had a couple of beers, right? So, what we got? The following Wednesday, that isn't it? Yeah, of course.
I'll tell you what our next fixtures are. We have got Genk, Spurs, Manchester City in the League Cup. We've got Villa away the following Sunday, 4:30. Then we've got Genk, the return leg away, and then we've got Liverpool, I think it is, at 4:30, and then we've got an international break. So we've got some big games coming up. And obviously, we need to see if we can get through them. Do you know what I mean? But where's Dylan's comment? I was going to read it out. You ruined Wolves' season in 2019-2020, so it all depends on which one you prioritise. I believe it's all about the Europa for me. I think there's nothing else other than Europa. I think Man City will beat us in the League Cup. I think they've just got a phenomenal team. And I think the rest of it takes care of itself. Do you know what I mean? So, lads, any final thoughts before we wrap it up?
Yeah, we beat Man City. You negative twat. Well, I honestly believe because we're over on that one, didn't we? I think we could do Man City, and I think Man City will play not a weakened side. There's no such thing with a weak side for Man City, is there? But I think we need a cup run. West Ham we do need a cup run, and I would like to see something thrown at that, even if it's just the Carabola Cup. Right, I'd like to see a full team go out and take on Man City. To be honest,
the only decent thing about that game with Man City, one thing I will say about it, is that we played them on the Wednesday, and then we don't play till the Sunday afternoon. So it's not a Saturday lunchtime. It's not Saturday at 3.
I just want to see us have a real go. And it's not a big cup that I'd like to win. I'd rather win the FA Cup. Right? Yeah. We need to win something.
Yeah, I agree.
Just for fans. And that is a good, we've put away Man United. Come on, let's go put away Man City. And if we put Man City away, I think we're going to win the cup.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe so. No, I really do.
I think we've got to play to our strength in that game. And maybe catch Man City on the up a bit because they won't be.
But the thing is, though, one thing I will say about this is that Moyes
they must be bored of winning it by now.
Oh, that's the only thing he's guaranteed winning, isn't it? The thing is, Moyes has got to make sure that he starts rotating this team in the Premier League also. You can't keep playing the same 11 over and over again. Because let's be honest, if Cresswell gets injured, touch wood, he don't. But if he gets injured,
what would you say the size of our squad is compared to all the competitions in? Would you say we still got a small squad, or would you say?
I think we've got a lot of players in all the wrong positions there on the subs bench. If you look at that subs bench, right, we've got 5 defensive players on that subs bench. If I remember rightly today, when I looked at it. There's Arthur on there. There's Dawson, Diop. There was someone else, another player who's on there. If Fredericks was fit, he'd be on there. If Kafal was fit, Ben Johnson would be on there. So that's 5 players. Do you know what I mean? It's very much you've got Yarmolenko and Vlasic, which, let's be honest, he can't even get a game at the minute.
Right, don't start me up on him because everybody's here are for all you people out there. Right, who've been saying, give him more time. £33.5 million. Right, I don't know. I watched along today. The Everton fans, there's some good Everton fans, and they're also, what the fuck do you buy him for? Right? Seriously, if you want to watch back, what the fuck do you buy him for? We don't know. We don't know either. Right?
Yeah. Well,
come on. You talk about imbalance. Let's be honest, right? I still want answers to people who give him more time. Okay, he played Cyprus in Europe. We got subbed, right?
Yeah.
And then he was on the bench against. He didn't do a lot then, right? So where does this lad need more time? I think we've wasted. I don't see anything in him at all. Well, if he was half decent, why wouldn't Moyes bring him on today?
Fresh films. I've got to listen to that.
I thought, oh shit, bring him on second half today and he score a hat trick. Right? Yeah. But come on. Moyes is not the Messiah. Right?
Yeah.
We got to remember that. We got to question things as supporters. But where does Vlasic fit in? He had done nothing in Europe. He had nothing in the Premiership. He's done nothing in the Cup. Come on. Moyes doesn't even today with 0-0 heading. All right, got the goal, the smash and grab goal from the corner. But would you have brought Vlasic on today? I fucking wouldn't. Tucky wanted him on. You wanted to probably see how shit he was, right?
I'll be honest with you. I think he should have come on today because there was players bad on the pitch.
Well, yeah. Why didn't he? That's what I'm saying.
And
that's what I'm saying. Benrahma probably had his worst performance today for West Ham United, right? For a while, right? Today was the perfect chance to chuck Vlasic on then.
Yeah.
But why didn't he?
That's 2 games now, right? That is 2 games now. Right? And Scott's got a good point here. When Benrahma leaves in January, he's worried, and so am I.
He's going to be ready. This Vlasic, this superstar Vlasic, ain't going to be ready, is he?
But the thing is, though, one thing I will say on that before we come to the end is that basically, I don't think Moyes fancies him now.
No.
Because he hasn't played him. That's twice in 2 games now where he hasn't brought him on. And
if you're a West Ham manager and you're watching your players out in Europe and you're watching against Cyprus, you say, "What the fuck have I bought?"
Yeah, I agree. Daya, how important is it for Vlasic on Thursday? He should play on Thursday. He hasn't played for 2 games. But he should be on the pitch on Thursday.
But let's play. If we go by his performance against Cyprus, it was fucking rubbish. To be quite truthful,
yeah.
Right? So I'd be worried about playing him. But no. But Genk, he's playing Genk. Come on, he's got to go and deliver some goods. Surely he's got to deliver something.
Yeah, I agree.
He's got to.
I agree with you.
Fans won't have it. Football fans at the moment, because we spent a load of money for him, everybody giving him he's the big boy. And then he needs more time when he doesn't deliver. There's more excuses made for Vlasic, right, than I've ever heard for a long time of a football player. Right? He's played in the Premiership before. He was shit in the Premiership last time. Oh, he played out wide. Vlasic likes to play number 10. Hang on. But when we were signing him, people were saying, he can play striker, he can play wide, he can play it. Couldn't the player himself now? He couldn't. He can't. Right? I have not seen anything in that boy's locker at all to warrant 33.5 million quid. I just haven't. And I could bet any of you a pint of Guinness on it. Take me up if you want. He will go down as a flop at West Ham United. And people won't have it. Yeah. And they say, watch him on YouTube. I watched fucking Eddie Johnson on fucking YouTube. Right? He was straight when it comes to getting on the pitch.
Shiny G says a good comment here. That's why I don't think Vlasic was a Moyes signing. If he was starting against Genk, he would have got a run today. He would have got a run out today, I must admit.
Yeah, good point, Shiny.
So
I agree with Shiny, and I brought it up, didn't I, Shiny, ages ago. I don't think Moyes would have gone on fucking out. He's a football manager, right? He's got still great contacts at Everton. They love Moyes at Everton. You pick the phone up to Duncan Ferguson or everything. You know when you had that Vlasic up there, Dunk? What was he like? Dunk, fucking shite, lad. Fucking shite. Right? Yeah? Because a whole of Everton think he was shite. And they bombed him straight back out. The jigsaw puzzle doesn't... This isn't anything that I know, by the way. But the jigsaw puzzle just doesn't fit. Moyes' first call would have been to Everton to get a fucking shout of what he was like, right? Yeah? Now, this is somebody out in the Russian league, right? Who's being touted around like a fucking whore all around Italy, right? But everybody was on trying to... his agent himself was touting him around Italy. No clubs wanted to take him in Italy, right? And then he ends up with West Ham for 33. The Everton fans today could not believe it. And I think, I don't know, we just bought a pup and we didn't need to buy a pup. But I just wish, I'd love to see him come through, but I just don't see it happening. But nobody can answer me. You put the comment on Facebook or whatever, the old Facebook fans, they're all probably 10, right? But they slaughter, give him more time, give him more fucking, unbelievable. Time for what? To play football?
Yeah, so, I agree.
Even if it's time at West Ham, why couldn't he do it against Cyprus? Why couldn't he do it against Slovakia?
I know, mate. I know. It's just one of them, isn't it? It's just one of them. But on that note, we'll come to an end. I want to thank you guys for coming on. Really do appreciate it. It's been long overdue. We will do this again.
Give us a promotion. Give us a promotion. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen. If you like a bit of banter, come on the Days Banter Show. Go and subscribe. E20 TV, the second best YouTube channel in the world. And then
that's it.
Geordie Maggot down there. We got the Geordie Maggot, right? Tough TV football.
I mean, the most richest fans down there. The most richest fans down there. Yeah. The richest fans down there, like part of the rich.
You're getting relegated. You're going down. That's way down the bottom. Down, beat on down.
And yeah, subscribe to Days Banter. Subscribe to Tufty Football TV, and that's the place to be. And if you like what I do, give me a subscribe.
We're all football fans. We're all West Ham fans. It's all about community. We all have different opinions. I know I'm always right, and James is normally wrong. But that's
about right.
It's all about the banter. It's about the chat, and it's all about the fun. And just a great feeling to go to bed tonight. I'm more chuffed tonight going to bed because I didn't think we'd beat Everton today. I thought Everton would do us too well. I know they had a couple of players out, but that was at Goodison Park. We have no track record. That was a great, if you want to call it, smashing grab. Bonner, bang, back of the net, job done. And we held out as well. That was the other thing. We didn't concede after being 1-0 up, which is quite unusual of being a West Ham fan.
I know. And that's us unbeaten away from home. Yeah. Last time we lost an away game was Newcastle away last year, and we lost 3-2.
Yeah. So that could Geordie Maggie get back in your box.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks a lot, everyone who's been watching. I really do appreciate it. Like the video, subscribe.
Pleasure to come on.
And
everybody subscribe to the E20 show. Let's drive this show forward, buddy. Let's drive this show forward.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, guys. Take care.
See you later, lad. Ciao, ciao.